Yo, good morning guys. What's up? Thanks for coming back and watching another video. So today we have some big news. I weighed in a few minutes ago and we're at 185.6 already. So we're pretty much shredding weight off at this point. So you guys know the routine by now. We're just gonna keep following it because obviously it's working. Okay, just finished our morning cardio, about 22 minutes, 250 calories burned. A little bit less today just because I woke up a little bit later. Woke up at like 5:20, so I didn't have as much time and I gotta get ready for work and everything, so I don't wanna mess up that routine. So you guys know what time it is. Let's hit some poses, check the physique quick, then we'll head to get our coffee. So there's a couple things I want to talk about today. So the first thing is the workout. So today we're hitting legs, but what we're gonna do is, seeing I've had some back pain for the last few weeks, we're gonna switch up the programming. So obviously we still need to be able to load the weight decently high enough to make sure we're not losing progress or losing muscle while we're on this cut. So there's two ways we do that. We keep the protein intake high, which is over 200 grams a day, and we train heavy. So we have to keep with those principles. But what I'm thinking is I need to switch the exercise prescription itself. So instead of doing squats or hack squats, maybe I'll do something like leg press for my compound movement, just because I can position myself and work with the ranges of motion so that I'm not hurting my lower back. And I think that will probably be best for me, especially on a cut, because my back's already tweaking out a little bit. So if I go and load that thing up today, it's not gonna be good. So that's something you guys have to do. You have to listen to your body. Obviously don't be soft, but if you have an ongoing problem and it just keeps getting worse, like, don't just avoid it, you know? You gotta work around it and you can still progress. All right, so that's the first thing I wanna talk about. The second thing was, I had someone message me on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you're following at khazard.fit. I had someone ask me about like keeping off their weight. They said they don't have a problem losing weight, but it's keeping it off. So, and I think that goes back to what we were talking about before with substitutions. That's really, it's either substitutions, one, or two, it's really a lifestyle change. Because anybody can really lose weight quickly if you follow the steps that we talk about, right? Activity level, sleep, step count, sustained physical activity, you know, all the regular tips that I give. But people aren't keeping it off because once they hit their weight, once they hit their goal, they go back to eating how they usually eat. They stop hitting cardio. They stop going to the gym. And weight loss is tough, right? But if you want to sustain that weight loss, that's even harder. So people need to understand that, like, you really need to embed these things into your routine if you want to keep the weight off. Because if you're not embedding these into your routine and making it part of your life, the weight's not going to stay off. Because you're just doing it now and then. You have to do it every day. And it doesn't have to be crazy. You just have to work your way up, you know? So I'm here to grab my coffee. We'll talk in a little bit. So a couple ways that I embed these healthy practices into my life to keep the weight off is, number one, when you go grocery shopping or you're out in the community, wherever you're going, you're probably going to be walking, right? So one thing I do all the time is I park really far away. You might think that's not a big deal, but if you're parking far away, you're adding 3, 4, 500 steps to just that trip, you know? So if you look at it that way, you'll always be doing more and more physical activity. Another tip that's just good for overall health and losing weight is you should walk on your lunch break at work if you can. If you can't, try to go for a walk before or after dinner. Walking after meals is actually shown to help reduce weight and help digestion too. So anytime you can get a walk, even if it's 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, anything is better than just sitting there and doing nothing. So your step count is literally the number one thing outside of diet that's going to help you lose weight, because you burn fat when you're not using your stored energy, when you're not using carbs in your body. So you're burning more fat when you're resting and when you're at a low activity level where your heart rate is not over 130. So if you're doing activities where your heart rate's under 130 for a sustained period of time, that's going to help contribute to that fat loss that you want. So yes, obviously if you run, you're going to burn calories. But like what I was saying before, walking is key. Walking is key because your heart rate is probably not going to go higher than 130, and it's not going to go below like 90. So you're going to be in that fat burning phase. You're not going to be using muscle glycogen. You're not going to be using carbs. You're going to be burning straight fat. So it's important to understand how your body uses energy. And once you kind of understand that, you'll be able to shred weight off. But yes, if you love running and that's your passion for losing weight, then run. But the thing with running is you're putting extra stress on your muscles. So if you're working out 5, 6 times a week, then you're going to have fatigue. You're going to be more tired. Your legs might not be able to squat as much as they used to be. So keep that in mind, and keep the progressive principle in mind of always trying to do a little bit more every time you work out, or every time you walk, do a little bit more. So that's called progressive overload. And if you're assuring yourself that you're doing progressive overload and doing a little bit more each time you work out, each time you walk, each time you eat, you will continue to lose weight. But you got to progressively do it over time. You don't have to do it all overnight. It takes time. And yes, I know the light from my microphone is bothering me too, but I don't really wear hats. So where else can I put it? Someone comment and tell me where I should put my mic. All right, I'll see you guys later. Yeah, what's going on, guys? We just got out of work. We actually just pulled up to the gym. So kind of gonna break down what we're gonna do today. So I'm thinking, because my back's been a little bit weird lately, I'm gonna start this workout a little bit differently. Typically I would start with a compound movement such as like squats, hack squats, something like that. But today we're actually gonna start with some light hamstring curls. We'll probably do like 4 sets of those or so just to warm up. I'm not going to film all those sets. I'll just film the last couple and chop them up and throw them in there so you can see it. But we're going to start with those today just to kind of get the blood flowing first. And then we're going to go into, we're definitely going to do something different. So we're going to go into leg press today. So I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, that with leg press, I can kind of change the range of motion and make sure that I keep my lower back on the pad to kind of negate that lower back pain that I've been feeling. So we're going to test it out. We'll see how it feels. After that, we're going to hit some hamstrings. We'll do some RDLs like we did last week. And then we'll probably do one more quad exercise, maybe some quad extensions or something, but we'll see. But I'll see you when we get in there, guys. All right, I'm going to hit my first working set of hamstring curls. All right, third working set. One more after this. All right, last set of these, and then we're gonna go to leg press, work on our compounds. Oof.
Ooh, good set. All right, we're on a leg press now. I haven't done this in a while, but I just tested the weight with 3 plates. It's pretty light. So we'll probably do like 4 or 5 sets of this, start light, work our way up. Like I said, we're not gonna go super heavy, but just enough to sustain our muscle. So let's get this first light set. We're gonna start our second set. Just remember, keep your feet nice and close if you wanna hit more quads. The wider you go, it's gonna be more hips, glutes. So I wanna just work quads here. So I'm gonna do a nice tight grip with my heels towards the bottom of the platform.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like this exercise. I never really do this because I focus on like hack squats and regular squats, but I don't know, there's something about this I kind of like. Maybe I'll start adding it in, we'll see. Happy my back's not hurting. All right, those felt so good. We're gonna do one more extra set. So we'll get started with those in a second. About 30 seconds rest, and we'll go again. All right guys, I only have 2 exercises left. We got these leg extensions, quad extensions, and then we have calves, just 8 sets. So we're gonna do 4 sets of this. I'll kind of cut them up and throw them in. I'm not gonna play the whole video, but I'll give you some clips of this. And then we're gonna probably do 8 sets of calves, but 2 different exercises. But 1 muscle group left after this, so let's get started. All right, I'm gonna do 2 calf exercises, 4 sets each. So I'm just gonna do the seated calf press.
and then I'll go over to the other seated, the one that works the deeper calf muscles.